What's up for this week? The Razorine all brass razor from Italy and a French soap that I have not used in quite some time. Hello again, Michael Friedrich here from beautiful North Carolina, and today I have one product for review. It is the Razorine from Italy, kindly sent to me. I received two versions of these. One is the all brass, which I'll be using today, and the other is the chromed version, which I will hold on to. That will remain unused, and I'll probably include that as part of a giveaway at some point later in the year. Before I assemble the razor, let me just show you the soap for today. It's going to be Pere Lucien Traditionnel. I've not used this in quite a while, and I have left this uncovered per the manufacturer's instructions after the last time I used it. So it is normally just sitting out comme ça, as they say in France. Sitting out just like that. It still smells great. It still has the same kind of earthy, herby, slightly woodsy scent. This is still the vegetal formula with the 10 essential oils or scents in there. It is a beautiful soap, lovely scent, great pairing for today. So I'll be getting to that in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and assemble the razor. So the Razorine is a shavette style razor that uses a full size, just a standard double edge blade. As you can see, there's the back, there's the base plate portion with the two tabs in there, two slots. The top cap, let me just put that down there carefully. Top cap. Now I just want to point out the top cap and the base plate are both very flat. There is no curvature to this razor. So when you assemble this, you have a flat base plate, flat razor blade, and flat top cap. So that's something that you need to bear in mind when you begin to shave with this. So I'm just going to put the continuation of the Persona 74. This is going to be shave number 17 because I skipped one. So let me just get that on there. You just put it on there and just hold it in place. Put the base plate handle on, and then use the provided screw to simply screw this together. I know there's a screw cap here. I would still consider this to be a two-piece razor. All right, make sure that's good and firm. Blade alignment looks good. As you can see, no issues there. So yeah, so just take a note of how that blade lays in there. That blade is very flat, so that's something to bear in mind as you go through and shave with this. This is my 5th shave, and so while I get lathered up with the soap, something's come to mind that I was taught long ago by an old manager of mine, wonderful woman, great manager, loved working for her. And one of the models that she taught us, because we were all going through some pretty major changes at work, we were taking on new products and delivering new services, and for a lot of us, some of those roles and the actual technologies were really quite different than what we had done before. So there's a model that she used to kind of help us through that transition, and it's the 4 stages of competency. So before I start on that, let me just show you how I'm going to end up lathering this. So a relatively dry brush, it's the Badger limited edition big shave brush. I'm going to lather this with a relatively dry brush. I'm going to just dip a tiny bit of water on the top, and then as I begin to lather it, because it is such a small tin, what I normally do is I tip it upside down, and that way as the lather begins to form, it begins to soak into the knot, the breech of the brush. I'm going to continue to do that, and while I do that, I'll explain the 4 stages of competency to you, because it's a really interesting model actually. So you move into a new role, you take up a new hobby, you begin to learn a new skill. At that first stage, the first of the 4 is what is described as unconsciously incompetent. You just don't know how much you don't know because you're brand new to this. You just have really no idea what's going on. You don't know how to perform any of the tasks. You don't understand the tools or how to use them. You have no experience or expertise. You are unconsciously incompetent. You just don't know. Now, as you begin to learn more about the job or the role, you begin to learn more about how to use the tool that you're learning how to use. It could be a razor, it could be a bandsaw, it could be a driving a tractor trailer, it doesn't matter. As you begin to do it, you become consciously incompetent. You begin to understand how much you don't know. The first little thing you begin to learn is what really shows you how much you don't yet know. But every little thing you learn is a small step, and you begin to understand sort of the range of what you need to know and how much you don't yet know. But you're also learning some new skills. That's the consciously incompetent. That's stage number 2. As time goes on, you gain more experience and you work with people who have that experience and you start to do more independently with fewer questions asked. You pass through a stage called consciously competent, where you're able to talk your way through tasks. You can explain to yourself and to others how things are done, but you're still thinking through how they have to get done. You are still asking questions. I'm going to stop right there at the lather. I think that's going to be plenty. At that point, you're doing the role, but you're still not doing the role sort of independently because you're still relying on the help of others and you're still asking some questions, but you're able to tell yourself how to do it and you're able to tell others how to do it as well. The fourth stage is what we call unconsciously competent, where you are simply working basically on muscle memory. You know how to do the job, you understand all the tools of the trade, you have some experience in how to do it. You're not talking yourself through problems, you're just doing the job. And so you've gone from unconsciously incompetent all the way up to consciously competent. And we'll talk about that when it comes to the razor, because it kind of struck me as I was first starting to shave with it. But it is something quite new in the sense that I don't shave with shavettes very often. And it is a new skill. Now, having shaved with shavettes before, I know how much I don't know. So I kind of started off with the consciously incompetent, and that's in part because, well, as I said, I've shaved with them a few times before. But I'm also unconsciously incompetent because I don't really know enough about that razor. So, but those first two phases kind of merge together, sometimes go very quickly. We're going to add a bit of water to that. Really a lovely, lovely scent on this soap. Very easy to use, easy to lather, good slickness. And if you're in search of a vegetal soap with no animal products, this is a great choice. All right, we're getting there. That feels a little heavy still, but as you... Okay, well, we're losing some of it. Two days of growth. I'm going to add just a touch of water. Pull some of that lather up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, very, very nice. You could continue to work this obviously, but it's just a matter of how much time you want to spend on building the lather. And yes, normally speaking, I am a big fan of really taking your time to build a good lather. It's really the foundation of a good shave. It's the real prep you're doing, especially if you don't use anything like a pre-shave. Building a good lather is a critical step. It's easy to get fooled by how a lather looks rather than how it feels. Okay. So I've only shaved with the Razorine 4 times, and the first couple times it definitely takes a bit of getting used to because, one, the blade angle on the razor head is quite flat, so there's a definite feel to there. You have to remember to hold it in a particular way because only one side goes on your face. The benefit of this is, of course, that it has a safety bar there, and that does change how you use this. Yes, I've had some touches every time there's spots of blood. I've had one actual nick where I just nicked myself because I was stupid and just rushing. Entirely my fault. So here we go. This is going to be a first pass, and I've really only done 2 passes per shave when I've just tried one time with against the grain. Again, because I think this is something where you grow with experience over time. You don't want to kind of rush into it and go all crazy on day 1 or day 2 or day 3. So here we go. This is going to be the first with the grain pass. Gentle, keeping it relatively flat. No pressure, and just sort of letting the blade let the blade do the work. Now, I will be switching hands because I think the way that you have to use this, unless you're shaving someone else, obviously, you're going to switch hands to do the other side of your face. Like I said, I am, in this particular case, consciously incompetent. I don't know how to use this razor really well, but every shave has been better than the previous one, so let's just keep going. Flat angle really matters on this side. That lower part right here is where I've definitely had the most trouble getting a close shave. All right, rinse off. Now, as for the handle, I would agree. You want to make sure that you don't have kind of a wet, slippery hand. I'm holding it like this with 3 fingers and then a thumb and pinky on the other side, so which has been working out pretty well. And yes, this part, you're shaving a little bit blind because of the position of your hand. Hope I didn't catch myself there. I find it very easy with my left hand because I'm really not that good with it to exert too much pressure, so just have to be careful. Now, my colleague Ben loves this razor, and he's going to be very disappointed if I don't give this an absolute 10 out of 10. But the fact is that, for me, I'm so new to this, I really can't give it a 10 out of 10. If I were to shave with this for 30 days in a row, I think it would be a very different story. But still, these first shaves, they're going pretty well, all things considered. And I definitely like the look of the razor. It looks really cool. It looks like a kind of it looks interesting and cool and different. I definitely appreciate kind of the design that's gone into it. It does mean you have to be careful when you're holding it because there is no texture to the handle, and the handle is quite thin and flat like the rest of the razor. All right, switch hands with the other side. Right there is where I definitely feel like I just do not have the control of my left hand down, but I can imagine after a couple weeks of how much easier and how much more safe that's going to feel. All right, I have struggled right here, so I'm going to take see if I can get that one next time. Let's lather up again. Yeah, so what I've done is I've really just focused on shaves where I've been practicing being good and slow and careful with the razor. I've not really focused on how good a shave I'm getting, in a sense. I would really rather focus on comfort and a feeling of growing your skill than somehow struggling through trying to get a perfect shave, because I know it's going to happen. Nicks and irritation. I did try one against the grain pass just as an experiment, which I'm not going to do today, but I definitely understand how you would do it. You basically just flip the razor over and go the opposite direction. Actually, surprised at, in a way, how natural that felt. Man, great feeling soap, by the way. Just a nice, sort of very natural feeling slickness to it. I think this is with very, very few ingredients in the soap. I guess you'd call this a typical French style shaving soap. There we go. All right, let me rinse my hands. Yeah, so far no issues with that blade. As I said, shave 17, that's going to go strong. Now, I should mention, by the way, that the next couple of weeks are going to be quite different in terms of the shaves that I'm doing, because I'm participating in this kind of month-long contest competition on Reddit called the Lather Games. So it's a different shave every day. So what will be appearing on Sunday or potentially on a Monday is a shave from that day or the previous day, but not a weeks-long shave, because every day has a different theme and a different kind of target that you have to hit. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a fun break for me in June, so I kind of get out of the rhythm of having to do a weekly review with the same product every week. You know what? It'd be fun to switch it up a little bit. All right, here we go. Pass number 2. that would be our cat. There we go. All right, switch hands, rinse off that one, and then let's see how we do on this side. Yeah, part of the problem for me on the left side is I don't feel like I have as good of a kind of an easy, stable grip, but that's just because, of course, I'm right-handed, not left-handed. Switch hands again. I've had irritation there every day, so I fully expect that to happen again. There's something about the edge of that blade going in there, and it's not curved at all, so there's really no buffer when you're shaving that spot. You just got to go slow and be careful. All right, mustache area. Consciously incompetent, a great way to look at it. Stop right there. Remember, focusing on just building your skill, not on a absolutely perfect shave, but that is much better than the first one. Steady improvement every day. All right, let's try to get some of the soap out of my ear. Yeah, that is just a fun razor to use. It's just a different style of shaving. The safety bars in the shavette make it feel quite different. It feels a lot safer in use. You can absolutely still nick yourself because the blade is so flat and extends out beyond, well, what would normally be the curvature of the top cap and base plate, because that really isn't there. So you just got to really watch it and just take your time. It is something new that you're doing, and so again, think about those, you know, the competency, the 4 stages of competency. Give yourself some time to become consciously incompetent, and then consciously competent, and then after a while you're just shaving just kind of out of muscle memory. You don't even think about it anymore, and it'll be great. It's also a good reminder that, hey, by the way, sometimes it might be good to switch up your normal shave routine and shave with your other hand, because it's amazing. It's really just striking, like how instantly shaky and off it feels because you're just not used to holding a razor and having to make those fine motions, even though normally speaking you use both hands for a lot of things. In that moment, feels a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to wet my face slightly because I'm using the Chatillon Lux aftershave or post-shave toner. And that definitely benefits from a slightly damp face, just as the salve does, or the balm. Shake it up. It is the Yuzu, Rose, and Patchouli. It is an absolutely beautiful scent. I love this stuff. It just really works well. I like the way the toner works. I like the way the balm works, and I really, really like the scent. It is quite strongly scented, so that's something you have to bear in mind. All right, just, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 drops. Work it into slightly damp skin. Lovely smooth feel to it. Feels good going on. A bit of a slickness remains behind. Yeah, that is very, very nice. There we go. All right, now, but this is one of the ones where There is residual slickness on my hands, so I always rinse after applying it. All right. Well, a tiny touch right there. I've had one every day, just a little spot. But that's nothing to worry about. Whew, all right. Well, that was very enjoyable and a great learning experience and just something fun and different to do. So, touch alum on that and that will stop immediately. All right, let's talk about the razor number 1. We rinsed that off. The Razorine d'Italia, a beautiful Italian razor. This is the all brass. I also have the chrome, as I said. Someone else will be enjoying that at some point in the future. Very flat design to the head. I've had no issues with blade alignment or anything like that, but the blade is quite flat there, so just be prepared when you put it on your face, lay it on flat using the top cap and then angle it slightly, and the safety bar is going to help guide you to exactly where the razor should be. I've had a good time using it. I think people are interested in seeing a razor handle with some changes or maybe something on top of it to make it less slippery. I've just been rinsing my hands in between or drying them off. If you hold it with 5 fingers, not much of a problem, honestly, for me. That has not really been an issue there. What else do we use? Oh, let's not forget today's soap, Le Pere Lucien Traditionnel, all vegetal soap, 10 essential oils, a beautiful kind of grassy, woodsy, herbaceous scent. Very, very nice. Love the soap. And again, I'll simply rinse it off and just let it sit out again. I'll let it sit out for the months and months until the next time I come back to using it. Today's brush. Hope you can see that. Limited edition Big Shave 2014. Seems like only 5 years ago. Because it was. And then to close it all off, let's not forget our dear friend Chatillon Lux, the post-shave toner. The Yuzu, Rose, and Patchouli. Fantastic scent. Love the toner. That'll stop in just a moment. All right, I think that was, in the scheme of things, a very good shave, all things considered. If I were to continue using that for the next month, I think my skill, my confidence would obviously be better. This is already so much better shave than it was day 1, then day 2, then day 3. So, great progress on my end. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. Thank you again so much for watching. As always, please feel free to leave your comments or questions against this video or any previous video. I'm going to try to catch up from last week's comments. It's been kind of crazy busy work, so no time to get back to those, unfortunately. But I'll try to catch up over the long weekend if all goes well. Otherwise, thank you again so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.